Welcome to Cram and Camila, where we cram for the RD exam. Let's talk about motivational needs, starting with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which states that dissatisfaction is what's going to move us towards fulfillment. So you know that you're gonna have your basic needs, then your psychological needs, with the ultimate goal of self-actualization. So what that means is that a person would have to fulfill those needs before they can move on to higher needs. Think about this. The basic needs will be experienced as a sense of deficiency, food and water. But then your higher needs, they experience differently. So they would be more in a sense of growth and fulfillment. So let's think that the basic needs will be physiological needs. So they're just your survival needs. And then you have your security and safety. That could include, for example, health insurance or job security. Then you have your higher needs. For higher needs, you have your social needs, which would be different activities at the job or how you interact with other people. You have your self-esteem needs, which could be, for example, your job title. And then that is self-realization. That is when you already have all of that and you focus on job enrichment. The next theory that we are going to discuss is Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory. And it's very simple to understand. So just think that in this two-factor theory, they are addressing the employee's motivation, and that motivation will come from different sources. There are motivating factors that influence satisfaction, and that would be the need for personal growth. Think achievement, recognition, responsibility. When it comes to hygiene, will be deficiency needs. So things that a person would be unhappy if they were not fulfilled in their job. What would that be? For example, company policies, salary, or interpersonal relationships, or even working conditions. Motivators would include, for example, job enrichment, achievement, and personal accomplishment. But then when it comes to hygiene, which will be that maintenance, you could have satisfiers and dissatisfiers. So satisfiers would be things that are present at work and that are perceived as good, for example, job benefits. But then dissatisfiers will be things that either are present or perhaps not present, but that would be perceived as bad. So think if somebody does not have good working conditions, that will be a dissatisfier. So Douglas McGregor's X and Y theory is probably the easiest one for us to remember. It states that people could fall into two different categories. So you have theory X, which would be for people that dislike work and they want to avoid any responsibility. So in order to motivate those people, you would need rules and you would need to have punishments. Meanwhile, Y will be people that actually want to work, that enjoy work. And how would you motivate those people? For them, you would have to give them more responsibilities and more ways to display, for example, their creativity. That would be what motivates them. So we can just remember X as in X, they don't like to work. They're like, no, I don't want responsibilities, I don't want to work. And Y, you can just think of, yeah, why not? Let's have fun at work and let's just give me more responsibilities, right? Why not? I'll take on more responsibilities. This is gonna be fun. So that is X, Y theory for you. The X and Y theory when it comes to work, let's think of the X theory as because the workers are avoiding work and they don't really want to do that, it's believed that in negative or autocratic management style will work better for those people. Meanwhile, for the Y group that they want to be there and they like to work, there will be a positive or participative sort of management style that will work better for them. So in response to the X and Y theory, Dr. William Auchi created a theory called Theory Z, which states that to increase an employee's loyalty, the company should provide work for life and focus on employee well-being. And it can encourage, for example, social interaction and group work that would motivate someone in the workplace. So you have X, people that don't want to really work and don't like work, Y, people that actually enjoy working, and Z, saying that the company should provide job security for life and safe working conditions that will focus on employee well-being. To the Hawthorne Effect, suggested by Elton Mayo, it states that employees will be more satisfied when they know that their work is being measured and studied. So, for example, it states that people will need recognition for a job well done, and they want to know that their opinion matters. Furthermore, do you like that? Furthermore. So Mayo noticed that employees, they were more productive when they were provided feedback and when they were able to give input in the work process. That makes sense, right? So Hawthorne Effect. If you know that people are like, oh, you're doing well on this, you're doing that well on that, or perhaps make this better. What do you think? Oh, I think I could perform the job this way better, more efficiently. I like that. It makes me think that work smarter, not harder. And give the people the opportunity to perform their best when they're most productive, instead of just sitting there, doing nothing. Because they could accomplish the job in 2 hours and they're sitting there for 8 hours to do the same work. Just because they're stuck there and they can go home. Why? It comes to the Hawthorne Effect. Think about this. So they're thinking that people will be more productive when they are involved in the process. But if you're talking about research though, you could give special attention to certain individuals and that would skew your results, right? Victor Vroom's 1964 expectancy theory incorporates needs, equity, and reinforcement theories. And it's based on the beliefs that people will perform certain tasks with the desired outcome in mind. So there are 3 different factors. The first one will be expectancy, where people think that if they put in more effort, that will equal more success. Then you have instrumentality, which states that there will be a connection between an activity and the goal. And finally, you have valence, that represents the degree to which somebody will value the results of success. When it comes to Vroom's theory, just a few key points. For example, the rewards are only going to be motivators in certain circumstances. And people, they need to think that they're gonna have to perform effectively in order to receive those rewards, and they need to feel that the rewards are attractive. So if somebody's giving you a trip to the Caribbean, if you perform well, that could be pretty attractive. So yeah, McClelland's achievement motivation theory has 3 different categories for needs, which include achievement, affiliation, and power. So those needs will be influenced by intrinsic or extrinsic factors. Achievement is going to arise from a psychological need for competency. So an individual will strive for excellence, and that could be against the task itself, against competition with themselves, so trying to be better and grow, or competition with other people. Now, the achievement, power, affiliation theory states that people would have those 3 different needs, right? So they have the need for achievement, which would be the desire to do something better. The need for power, where perhaps they like that competition. And then the need for affiliation, that is when you have the desire to be liked and associate well with other people. McClelland's achievement motivation theory categorizes needs into 3 different categories. If it's categorizing, it's 3 different categories.